Welcome to week 4 of our Ski Erg sprint intervals. This week we're going to be doing a similar start as last week, except instead of doing 600, 500, we're going to be doing 700 and 500, but at the same pace. It's going to burn a little bit more. But then we're going to be following up with some speed intervals. We're going to be going 10 sets of 100 meters on with 90 seconds in between. That is plenty of time to recover, so we want to work on that speed. And to help work on that speed and something to help get you up to speed are going to be your starts. So today's technique warm-up is going to be start specific. Get into your general prep, check the link below, follow that if you haven't already memorized it, and see you in the warm-up. For the technique warm-up, let's get into just some basic strides. Let's work on that power position. Let's work on the hinge for 2 minutes, and then we're going to get into some starts. So let's get our setup. Damper set to what you want that drag factor. I've got mine at about 100. Changing gears slowly, gradually building up to speed. So as we continually go through this rhythm, it's important to pay attention. Are you connected? How's your order of operations? Are you getting a lot of tension or torque from that power position? And if the answer is, I don't know, well, you should probably go back, have a look at that full Ski Erg technique video that I've outlined in the outline to make sure that you've got this down pat, because really when we're doing these 1,000 meters is a sprint and technique probably won't play a huge part if you've been doing all of the training, but we want to use this not just to get better at the 1,000 meters, but to get better at all ski distances. Okay, and learning how to do this properly, especially if you're just getting into this formal type of skiing. By formal, I mean learning how to do it properly. It's going to help you in the long run. So finding that hinge, finding that power. Don't need to go very fast. I'm going to slow down my strokes per minute. Work on a little more power. So work on the strokes per minute, or lower the strokes per minute. I'm now at 40 strokes per minute. I'm working at getting my pace a little bit faster. 30 more seconds. Feel that hinge, feel the hamstrings. $15. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. So for the next part, for the starts, I want to keep our drag factor the same. So don't adjust your damper, because ultimately we are trying to improve our 1,000 meters. And although I'll change the damper when we get into today's sprints, 1,000 meters, I'll probably keep my damper here at that 100 drag factor. So starts, we want to change gears, and it's important. I'm gonna do 2 different types of starts. I'm gonna do a start for the 1,000 meter, which is what we're doing right now, and then we're gonna do starts for the 100 meters. So start for the 1,000 meters. I want to get up to speed as efficiently as possible, but it's not as hard of a start as the 100 meter. So I want to get into power position. My hands are down just a little bit. So notice how the line, I've got a little bit of line here. I'm not at the top, so I can start in the power position. And I'm going to think about jumping and pulling down at the same time. This is going to be my initial stroke. So let's just try that. So I want to go jump, jump, and down. So I'm thinking out of the pool, pushing myself out of the pool, but I'm going to start that sooner. And in order to help, I'm going to jump. So I want to start from the top here, a little bit of slack, a little bit of line here. And then as I create this tension, as soon as I feel tension, I'm jumping, and I get that down. Okay, so let's rewind a little bit here. How does this look without jumping? So same idea as if we were just doing the warm-up start. I've got slack on the line. I haven't created tension yet, but now I'm gonna create tension, half stroke, 3/4 stroke, full stroke. Half stroke, 3/4 stroke, full stroke. Okay, there's no jump, but it is the exact same order of operations. I'm gonna think 3 strokes to get up to speed, half stroke, 3/4 stroke, full stroke. Okay, that's how I'm changing gears. Now to get a little bit more aggressive, I'm gonna do the exact same thing, but add a little jump. Half stroke, 2 or 3/4 stroke, full stroke. Hard to say that fast. So half, 3/4, full. Half, 3/4, full. And on that full, I'm sinking down low. I wanna try and get my skier, or I wanna try and get my time as fast as possible there, and then I just wanna continue for efficiency. Okay, so for me, we're gonna use our pace. I'm at 141.6. That's gonna be my 700-meter pace today and the 500-meter pace, but it's my 750-meter benchmark. So my goal is to get as close to 141 in those first 3 strokes. Now, I'm not gonna get to 141 by the 3rd stroke, but by my 4th, by my 5th stroke, I should be able to get there efficiently. And this is important. You don't wanna take too long to get up there. Okay, so I'm gonna say arbitrarily between 5 to 7 strokes to get my pace, and then I'm gonna relax. We're gonna do 5 sets here. You're gonna do the same thing to get to your pace. Okay, maintaining a 1,000-meter drag factor setting here. We're starting half, 3, full. 4th stroke, 5th stroke, and I'm there. Okay, so that took me 5 strokes. My 6th stroke, now you'll notice this sometimes, your effort will not be realized until the following stroke, just the way that the flywheel catches up with the computer here. So it is important, you wanna get up to speed, you wanna try and hold that, maintain it. So 4 or 5 strokes, get up to speed, efficient way to start, and then settle into it. Okay, 4 more, here we go. 3rd stroke, 4th stroke. Okay, that took me 4 strokes. Now what we want to also find is we don't want to continue to accelerate. We want to settle into that speed or that pace. So I want to find out, okay, what pace or how hard should I be pulling on that 5th, 6th stroke. So for instance, I fell off too fast. I went too hard. And the last one, I went down to 138, which is a waste of energy because I'm not going to hold that. And then this one, I dropped off to 147. So I let it go too much. So I find somewhere in between. This is another reason why practicing these starts is important. 2 more sets. Here we go. Half, 3/4, full. Okay, good. And then finding that pace, although it's important, we're not doing it necessarily for the starts here. That was better. Got up to it in my 5th stroke, but then maintained 2 or 3 strokes at that 141. Okay, 1 more. Half, 3/4, full. Half, 3/4, full. Good. Okay. It's like a little light for me. I've got my erg data set up here so I can see it all. Yeah, there it is, a little light. That was at 90. Okay, keep my drag factor at 100. Good. So, those are our 1,000-meter sprints. That's what we're going to be doing when we get into the 1,000 meters. Now for the 100 meters, it's going to be a little bit different. I want to get my drag factor up a little bit higher. Now just for the contrast here, I'm going to go all the way up to 10. Now, damper I'm going to put up to 10. What I want to do, because the 100 meters is going to be pretty short, I need to get as much tension as possible. And with that start, I want to find the ideal drag factor or where I set my damper to get that start. To get the sprint starts, we're going to be doing a interval workout here, a little interval start warm up. So you can just go from the screen here, new workout, intervals, calories. We're going to go 5 calories, which is the lowest we can do. Okay, and then we're going to set our rest time to 1 minute. And we're going to get about 3 of these in just to find the ideal damper or drag factor for this. So on my SkiErg, okay, or on the app, I've got this set up so at least I can see what I'm about to do here. So I've got just ski or my interval set up. I've got my drag factor down here too on the screen. You can customize this screen, but this essentially allows me to see where my drag factor is without having to set it up here. Be aware you're gonna have a lot more tension. So depending on your strength, maybe you don't wanna put this up to 10 right away. You can gradually build up. I'm gonna go to 10. I wanna see how long it takes to get there. We'll get a minute in between. We'll do 3 of these. Let's find our ideal damper setting for sprint starts in 100 meters. So same thing that we would do, just be aware of that tension. Here we go. All right, 9 seconds. So that was at 10. Now I'm gonna contrast that with where I have it normally, which is 100 drag. So that was a 158 drag that I had at 10. I'm gonna go down to 6.5, which for me is about 100 drag. Recover there. And this is gonna feel a little bit like what we're gonna do in the intervals after as well. Okay, so good opportunity here to test the damper. This is really, the damper setting or the drag factor is subjective. There are guidelines, like you don't wanna be doing distance at 10, you don't wanna be doing distance at 1, but somewhere in between, you just gotta test it, find out what feels best, and this is a great way. The starts are easier because now I can recover, although I can barely get my breath back here, I can recover enough to come in and compare. So I get 9 seconds before, we're starting in another 7, 6, 5, start 2, here we go. All right, 9.5. Whew. Take a second here to recover. All right, so 9.5. And I feel I actually went harder on that one, and my finish was stronger. So I don't think fatigue played a factor into that. And it's clear that for faster starts, for me, a higher damper setting worked. I already knew this, but it's good for you to test. Now I want to see somewhere between 6.5 and 10. We'll call that 8.125. Whatever that is, between 8, 8.5, 8.25. So in this next one, this is gonna be our final one. One more hard sprint to work on that speed start. Another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Whew. 8.9. All right, post-workout Greg jumping in here. Damper set to max for me on the 100 meters was better. I tested it out during, so that's my from the future tip into the past. So going into your 1,000 meter sprints, I actually discovered something. It took me 4 weeks that I should be at more like a 104 drag factor. I've been going at about a 99 to 100 before. 104 is more optimal for me. So always, especially with ski erg, which is probably new for a lot of you, always learning, finding out what drag factor or damper setting works best for you at which distance. But for 100 meters, absolutely for me, max drag, a 10 damper helped out the most. You can tell I'm out of breath, so not fake. Now we're gonna go into the first part, which is going to be our 700 meter, 3-minute rest, 500 meter, all at benchmark pace workout. This is similar to what we did last week. Last week we did 600, so it's gonna sting a little bit more, but it's good for you. Okay, and then we're gonna get a 5-minute rest, and we're gonna go into the 10 sets of 100 meters with 90 seconds in between. So it's gonna be a bit of a contrast. We're gonna really burn out in that first part, but then we're gonna be working on speed, power, with lots of recovery in the second part. For this part A, it is really important that you are getting that target pace. This is how we're gonna get better. If you are not moving at that target pace, you are not gonna get better. So if you don't know what that is, you gotta go back, look in your history, and make sure, and by now you should have memorized that because we're doing it every single week, but we have to hit that. For me, it's 141.6. That's my target pace. I gotta maintain that or be better. In the 700, I should be able to do that. What's tough is gonna be keeping that for the 500, because 3 minutes is not a lot of time to recover. You gotta maintain that for the 500. So we're working on a little bit of work capacity. For the 100 meters, those should be flat all out the entire way. You should be going as hard as you can on those. And they're really, the 90 seconds of rest, it's gonna take you less than 20 seconds to get through it. There's a good work to rest ratio on that. So really give it on those. That is where we're gonna work on your power. but I do think that you should be able to completely go to complete exhaustion on these 100 meters. Give it all you've got. You're gonna have enough time to recover. It's not gonna feel great. You'll have enough time to recover. And the 700 and the 500 is doable. I thought it was gonna be a lot worse compared to last week because I don't think I knew what to expect. But if you pace it to your benchmark pace, you're gonna be fine. Got a couple more weeks till these sprints come up. See you on the leaderboard.